President Trump's nominee to be the next Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, squeaked through a key committee vote tonight. This after several dramatic turns in just the last hour. Our Capitol Hill correspondent Lisa Desjardins is here to explain. Lisa, some drama at the Senate Foreign Relations Committee today. What exactly happened?
This was a pivotal vote because there was a real question as to whether Mike Pompeo had the votes to get out of committee. Going into this meeting that started at 5 o'clock Eastern time, just the last hour and a half, Rand Paul was a no, a Republican no. Minutes before the meeting, he said he'd flipped his vote, and he said the reason why is a phone call from President Trump, which convinced him that he thought Mike Pompeo would be on his side. Here's a tweet from Mr. Paul. He wrote, "I have decided to support his nomination to be our next Secretary of State." As you know, Rand Paul is anti-interventionist. He said he was worried that Mike Pompeo would put more troops and would not be enough of a diplomat. He said he got guarantees that swayed him the other way. So we thought, great, Mike Pompeo, now we know what's going to happen. He's going to make it through committee. No, it turns out that another Republican, Johnny Isakson, was not in the committee today. They needed his vote, but he was speaking at a memorial service. All this, let's just cut to the chase, led to a very strange case where the committee chairman, Bob Corker, had to turn to Democrats and ask them, will one of you vote present, even though you oppose this nominee, so that we can move forward without having a late vote tonight? That Democrat who did that was Chris Coons of Delaware. He said he will do it out of respect for his Senate colleague, the senator from Georgia, Senator Isakson. So very strange things, but bottom line, we now have a favorable vote, which was not what we expected this morning, coming out of committee for Mike Pompeo. He moves to the full Senate floor with the wind behind him.
So let's talk a little bit about what the basis for that opposition was in the first place, because it was a largely partisan split, right? Rand Paul lining up with the Democrats. Where were they digging in?
Right, on several issues. One from the senator, the ranking Democrat on the committee, Bob Menendez. He said that Mike Pompeo has said two different things at different times. Is he for human rights or is he against gay rights? Mike Pompeo has said that he does not support gay marriage, for instance. There are questions also of how much he supports diplomacy. That's where Virginia Senator Kaine came out. He said, I don't think this is a real diplomat. Mike Pompeo has said, no, I do believe diplomacy first, but the Democrats say they didn't buy it. Now, there's also charges against the Democrats that they're being political here, because no one has questioned Mike Pompeo's qualifications for the job. He's a West Point graduate. He's the CIA director. He served in the House of Representatives. He has President Trump's ear. So there are questions of was this political or not. Democrats say no, we just don't trust the direction this man would take the State Department.
So he moves ahead to the full Senate floor without the little asterisk next to his name, right? He's got the recommendation going in. Is it as clear a partisan battle when it goes to the full Senate vote?
Not quite as partisan. There are 3 Democrats now, 2 new today, who will be voting yes for this man. Let's look at those names. Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota, Joe Manchin of West Virginia, and Joe Donnelly of Indiana, all yes votes for Mike Pompeo, breaking with the rest of their party. Gee, what do those 3 have in common? They've got a date with the voters in November, and they are all in states that voted for President Trump. And there could be other Democrats that vote yes as well. I think Mr. Pompeo will probably get somewhere between 52 and 55 votes on the floor, more than Betsy DeVos, less than Rex Tillerson. But I think this all shows drama could continue. We expect him to make it out of the Senate by the end of the week, and that's important because there is a NATO summit for foreign ministers in Brussels on Friday. They're hoping that he can make it to that.
Lisa Desjardins with the drama from the Senate Foreign Relations Committee today.
Surreal.
And